Do that one dance, baby. That one dance.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Yunita Eka Dyah Pratiwi. You can call me Yunita, and my study ID number is 72. In here, I will explain the role of the law engagement and agreement. I took a case study of cooperation agreement in the fields of engagement and labor service between PT Sinar Jaya Putra Abadi and PT Asian Best Marine Industry. I made this video to complete my final exam in course Law and Business Ethics taught by Mrs. Novidiana Badrustamami. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's go! The first is definition of engagement and agreement. An engagement is a legal relationship between two people based on which one has the right to demand things from the other party and the other party is obligated to fulfill the demand. An agreement is an event that occurs when someone promises to another person or when two people promise each other to carry out an achievement. Validity of the agreement. The first is their agreement is self-binding. The second, the ability to make an engagement. The third, a certain subject. The fourth is a cause that is not forbidden. And the first and two conditions are also called subject condition. While the third and the fourth condition are called objective condition. In the event that the first element and the second element are not fulfilled, the contract may be cancelled. Meanwhile, if the third element and the first element is not fulfilled, the contract is null and void. Type of engagement is conditional engagement, the engagement with timeline, alternative engagement, the bond of responsibility, an indivisible and indivisible bond with the threat of punishment. The type of agreement. The first is agreement to give something. An agreement to provide something is an agreement that occurs when one party or both parties are required to provide something is the form of money, goods, or something else. The second is agreement to do something or do something. An agreement to do something is an agreement that occurs when one of the parties is required or obligated to do something. The last is agreement not to do or not to do something. An agreement not to do or not to do something is an agreement that occurs when one party promises to the other party not to do something at the request of the other party. Now we will discuss about case studies. And the first is profile of PT Asian Best Marine Industry and PT Sinar Jaya Pura Abadi. PT Asian Best Marine Industry is located at RM Marta Dinata Street, number lot 2, Pinggir Sekupang, Batam, Riau Island, and PT Sinar Jaya Pura Abadi is located at Block A, number 10, Nagoya City Center, Phase 2, Business Center Street, Batam City, Riau Island. PT Asian Best Marine Industry is a limited liability company which is engaged to the shipyard sector intent to use security personnel service to meet the needs of workers who are ready to work from a labor service provider company, PT Sinar Jaya Pura Abadi, and this business is work in the personal security industry who is ready to work in the implementation of the company's business activity in order to realize this goal, and parties entered into a cooperation agreement on enforcement and employment of labor service. Topics for discuss. The first, the content of the cooperation agreement between PT Sinar Jaya Pura Abadi with PT Asian Best Marine Industries. The second, rights and obligation of companies and workers employed. The third is legal protection for works who occur in the cooperation agreement between PT Sinar Jayapura Abadi and PT Asian West Marine Industry. The content of the agreement. The cooperation agreement made by PT Asian West Marine Industry and PT Sinar Jayapura Abadi originate from the need for security works. PT Asian West Marine Industry, which require security works, then make a cooperation agreement with PT Sinar Jayapura Abadi as a labor supply company. The definition of labor is the agreement is labor that is bound by a work contract with the first party, which consists of labor that is introduced to the second party. Labor that is introduced by the first party is labor that is selected and procured by the first party to be placed and employed by the second party. Service fees and fees paid by the second party to the first party for the employment service. Rights and obligation. In principle, every agreement made will give rise to rights and obligations between the parties based on the regulation concerning companies that expect part of the work, or companies that provide work, or laborers who are given job by PT Asian West Marine Industries. Obligations are responsibilities that companies must fulfill to employees. This responsibility is the first, pay the basic wage. The second, pay wage for overtime. The third, personal allowance. The fourth, other allowance. The fifth, or the last, is health insurance. Legal protection. Default is not fulfilling or neglecting to carry out obligation due to their mistake as determined in the agreement made between the creditor and the debtor. If the worker neglects the fulfillment of his obligation so that it violates the content of the agreement, it can be seen that alternative dispute resolution is a way to resolving disputes that are carried out outside the count, and its implementation is fully carried out by the parties, and the parties can choose the option of dispute resolution to be pursued, namely through consultation, mediation, conciliation, or action for expert judgment. Negotiation. Negotiation, in principle, is to provide the parties concerned with an alternative to resolve the problem that arises between them by means of an agreement where a result of the agreement are stated in writing as a commitment that must be carried out by both parties. Mediation. Mediation is the process of negotiation, a problem solving, in which an impartial and neutral outside party works with the dispute parties to help them satisfactorily reach an agreement. Conciliation. Conciliation has something in common with mediation, but conciliation is more formal than mediation. Conciliation can also be completed by an individual or a body called a conciliation body or commission. Legal protection of workers in the event of default. In the cooperation agreement between PT Sinar Jayapura Abadi and PT Asian West Marine Industry is in the content of the cooperation agreement in Article 10 concerning responsibility and compensation that PT Sinar Jayapura Abadi provide legal protection in the form of compensation, loss in the form of salary provision during the contract period's end. I think enough, maybe that's all I can say. Sorry if there is a wrong word. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time.